Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer, wherever this thing might be. And I'm here with my brother Matt. Matt, how you doing?
Doing great, Christian. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
thanks. Yeah, I'm Christian, by the way. I just realized I didn't even introduce myself. So we are two brothers who are going to be doing a Quick Kick Picks for the Premier League. This is our first installment as match week one of the 2019-2020 season is going to kick off. So, Matt, are you ready to hop right into this?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. So, first off, we've got a 3 p.m. kickoff on Friday with Liverpool hosting Norwich City. Matt, what do you think is happening in this game?
Liverpool hosting Norwich City. Considering last year's performance, I think Liverpool is going to continue that form. Not any significant signings in the off season, but that shouldn't really matter for Liverpool. Very dominant side, coming off a Champions League victory. Second place in the Premier League. I think it was the third highest points ever in a Premier League campaign. So I think they should run away with this pretty easily, 3-0 in this match, and Liverpool gets off to a hot start in the Premier League season.
Yeah, I definitely am going to agree that. Do you want to give a score prediction before I move on?
Yeah, 3-0. If you were listening, that is what I said.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to set up our timer here, which I just realized I did not start for this. So hopefully we get under 2 minutes in this one. So Liverpool, I think, is going to handily win this game, and I think a lot of that is going to depend on if Sadio Mane is fit and ready to start. I think he will play a role in this game, but I think no, Liverpool are going to win the game. I'm saying it'll determine by how much. I think Sadio Mane will make a huge difference to the Liverpool attack, as you would expect that. And if he plays, I could end up seeing this game being 5 or 6 nothing, really just a blowout. But without him, I see this game being either a 2-0 or a 3-0 scoreline. I don't think Norwich City have the tools this year to really attack this Liverpool defense, but Liverpool just have that creative ability. They didn't bring any new major signings in the offseason, so they will be used to playing together. That chemistry will still be there, and I think that this is going to be a handily victory. And I'm going to predict a 3-0 scoreline as well for this one. So, for the next match, we are going to go to West Ham in London, where they will be hosting Manchester City, Matt's team here. So, my prediction on this one is going to be that this is going to start off as a very close game, but I think Man City obviously get off to a winning start here. I think West Ham have made a good chunk of moves over the offseason, but Man City are the better team, and it's hands down. There's no question about it. You could arguably say Manchester City are the best team in the world right now, and they have the tools to win the Premier League again. I have them predicted as the Premier League winners again. They have signed Rodri in the offseason to add to their depth and probably will be the starter with Fernandinho rotating in that holding role this year. He's incredibly talented. We've already seen that in the preseason. It might take a little bit of time for him to get used to the speed and the physicality of the Premier League, but I think he's going to fit in, and Manchester City are going to win this game. I'm actually calling this one close in a 2-1 victory.
All right, fair enough. So I know they played in the preseason. I want to say the score was 4-1, maybe 3-1. I think they played in China. I mean, obviously it's preseason, doesn't matter too much, but City just seems too strong. A little bit of disagreement with Rodri. I mean, he coming from Atletico, I think he can handle physicality coming from that culture. Just
So,
signing Cancelo. Interested to see when he gets his debut. I doubt it'll be this weekend, but I think City are going to win this very comfortably. I'm going to say they put in 4 goals at least, and they're going to probably win this 4-0.
I think even on the road, West Ham have improved in the offseason too, and they have been doing that over the past few seasons. They have a lot more depth, and I think you have them predicted in the top half. You think City are going to cruise that easily in game one?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on this game?
No.
No?
It's,
All right.
it's
Well,
easy.
you're feeling very confident over there with a big win. And yeah, I think Man City and Liverpool are the two favorites right now. But Spurs and Arsenal, in my opinion, have made the best transfers in the offseason in the Premier League, up there probably with City at the moment. So I think it's going to be very interesting if they can close the gap this year. So on to the next game here. And it's going to be Bournemouth hosting Sheffield United. Matt, what's going to happen at Vitality Stadium?
Yeah, so Sheffield United, I don't think they had too big of a transfer window. I don't know too much about their transfers. I have them predicted to come in last in the Premier League and just kind of struggle with, coming up. But Bournemouth, they've been in the Premier League for a couple of years now. They're pretty solidified. Being at home, opening day, I think they're just used to it. I have them coming out on top with a 1-0 victory. I just don't see Sheffield United necessarily too threatening going forward, and Bournemouth has got some talent, and I think they are able to see this one through 1-0.
All right. I definitely see Bournemouth winning this game as well. I think the home atmosphere will make a big difference, even though Bournemouth are the smallest team in the Premier League right now in terms of their capacity at their stadium. But they have very passionate fans, and I don't think Sheffield United have the squad to really handle that situation right now. I think Sheffield United, for as well as they did to get promoted last year, are the weakest team and are the favorites to get relegated this year with Norwich City, I believe. So I think Sheffield United, like you said, are at the bottom of my table as well. I just don't think they have the tools to succeed in the Premier League right now. Hopefully, they can prove us wrong, but I just can't see where that's going to happen. Bournemouth, on the other hand, Eddie Howe has been there for a long time, is one of the
Yeah.
best managers at this point in the Premier League, probably top half of the league in terms of management. He has the tools at his disposal. I think that team is set up to really succeed and be a mid-table team. I don't think that they will challenge those top spots in the top six, definitely, or top 8 or 9 even. But I can see them finishing anywhere from probably like 14th to 10th and really giving a lot of the top teams trouble any given week. I think they have the win here wrapped up in easy fashion. I think this is going to be a 4-1 victory for Bournemouth here. All right. So, anything else you want to add?
A lot of goals. Like it.
Yeah, a lot of goals here. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. So next we are going to have Burnley versus Southampton at Turf Moor. So Burnley are going to be hosting this one. I think this is a very interesting matchup because Southampton just seem to be slipping down further and further every year for as good as they were for a long time. I don't think that they're getting that same production from their academy and making the signings after their sales that they were early on in their Premier League lives. I guess it was like 2013 or so when they first started selling a lot of their players and were a very talented squad. Burnley, on the other hand, were in the Europa League at the start of last year and then just could not handle the pressure of finishing seventh the prior year. They haven't made a lot of signings in the offseason. They've made a few, but I don't think it's enough to really challenge in that Europa League area again. I have them finishing pretty close to the bottom as well as Southampton. I think I have them 16th and 17th. But Burnley, I think, are strong enough in this game to, you know what? I'm going to actually take that back. I think this game ends up with a 1-1 draw. I don't think either team has the capability to score a lot of goals, and I don't think they have the defense to keep the goals out either. So, Matt, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you with a 1-1 draw. I think both teams lack a little bit of creativity going forward. I think both are a little bit structured defensively, and it's going to be, a typical, I would say, English match where it's just it's not going to look pretty. Both teams they're going to get. I think they're both going to get a goal, but it's going to end up finishing 1-1.
That seems like the Burnley way. Do you think either
Yeah.
team has made significant changes in the offseason to stay in the Premier League or to get relegated this year?
Burnley, I think, is in more trouble than Southampton, but I don't think either team are looking, too secure at this point.
Okay, and I know Burnley is one of the more difficult grounds for even the top six to go to, so I think that atmosphere will make sure they don't lose this game, but I don't see them getting enough to win it.
Yeah.
The next game we have is going to be Crystal Palace hosting Everton at Selhurst Park. Matt, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Yeah, so Everton, with a lot of expectations coming into the season, they had that huge transfer window, a lot of big names coming into the club, a lot of attacking power, especially. It's gonna be important for them to get some 3 points to start the year. I think they're gonna come out motivated. I think they're gonna win this game 2-0. Crystal Palace, I mean they have a good manager in Hudson, or an experienced manager. They have they have some talent with Zaha. He stayed incredible attacking player, but I just don't think I just think they rely on him a little bit too much. I think just Everton's just going to overpower them. So I think 2-0 is going to be the result.
Wow, 2-0 on the road seems bold for a first week here, but you predicted City were going to win pretty big on the road, so I think Crystal Palace keeping Zaha is the key for them staying in the league and finishing a little bit higher than some may have predicted early on. I think the bringing in Gary Cahill is another huge signing for them because he just adds that experience from the Premier League, and he's been in this situation before with his teams in the past. I don't think he's been at a team that has been challenging themselves in a relegation battle in a while, but he has been playing with Chelsea for a while. He has that experience, has those Champions League nights. This is going to be a very different situation, but just any type of that experience where you feel pressure is going to help this team because I think Palace have been leaky at the back for as talented as they can be with Townsend, Benteke, Zaha going forward, those types of players. They have really been weaker at the back, and that's why they drop points as often as they do. Everton obviously have had an insane window that I don't even know how they were able to generate all that money this time around. But they have a team that could really challenge and even possibly push into the top six this year. I think they should be seventh with a lock. And I think this game ends up with Everton probably winning this game 2-1, but it's going to be a lot closer than we think. So, next game, we've got Watford hosting Brighton and Hove Albion. So, we've got Watford here, who, in my opinion, are one of those tricky teams that you just don't know what you're going to get on any given week. They've got a lot of talented players in the attack. Defensively, you have a lot of question marks, and in their midfield, even you got some question marks over what they can provide, but I think that the talent with Delafeu staying at that team, he is just incredible to watch when he is on and firing. He can score goals out of nothing. Gray, if he can continue to provide those goals after being the record signing a couple of years ago, I don't think Brighton have the tools to stay in the Premier League this year. I think they're coming in 18th here, and Watford are going to be challenging for a top half. I think Watford win this game probably 3-1. They're going to be fit firing, and with the home crowd behind them, I don't see any chance for Brighton here. Matt.
Yeah. I think it's at Watford, correct?
It is.
Yeah. It says that's what I thought. So I think Watford's going to end up with a 2-1 victory. Brighton, I think I have them just above the relegation zone. They're going to be struggling a little bit this year, lack a little bit of creativity. I think they are structured in the way they play, but Watford just going forward has too much talent and a little bit of just next level experience, especially if you were saying Delafeu and like where he came from and being able to perform on the highest stage. They made the FA Cup final last year, and I think they're going to continue that form. And I know they eventually lost to Man City, but continuing that form and being able to win this 2-1.
Yeah, and I think that Delafeu, I think he has a slight knock right now, so I think a lot of what I'm predicting is assuming that he does play in this game, and I think Izquierdo is another one who can be a game changer for them on the wing. I just still think that they have the talent to beat this Brighton team, that even though they signed Artur from Huddersfield, I believe, maybe I'm wrong there. I might be thinking of somebody else. Wait, no. What the hell is the guy's name?
Oh, Moy. Aaron
Moy
from Man City.
Can make a big difference for this team. So moving on to the next game, we got Tottenham Hotspur hosting Aston Villa here. We got Tottenham. Shoot.
Oh,
hello.
You're back. Okay, and we'll keep it going.
Yeah, we'll just reset that one. Sorry about that. Yeah, New White Hart Lane, I believe, is what it's. What, are you frozen? What's going on?
You're back. Keep it going.
Okay. So, Matt, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Okay, so you cut out. It's Tottenham versus
Villa.
Oh, at New White Hart Lane. So for this one, I mean, Aston Villa had that incredible transfer window. One similar to Wolves last year. I think Wolves got a little bit more top end talent, but Villa was just investing in this team. It is pretty crazy with a newly promoted team being able to sign all those players. I think they're going to perform pretty well this year. But going to Tottenham, playing the full season in this new stadium, I think Tottenham should be able to come out away with the victory. Tottenham has played pretty well in the preseason, getting victories over some big clubs. Harry Kane and the whole team playing together for so long. They just know each other so well. Under Poch, they just know each other so well. I don't see them losing this game. I'm going to say it's going to end 3-1.
Okay. So Spurs at home, yeah, just like you said, first season with the new stadium at New White Hart Lane. That's going to be a huge factor for them now that they're not playing at Wembley every week. I think Aston Villa are a very talented team, and it's either going to be like Wolves or it's going to be like Fulham. And I don't know which way we're going here because Fulham invested heavily last year and just absolutely crumbled. Wolves flourished in their first season in the Premier League. Aston Villa, I think, are going to be more like Wolves just because they haven't really overdone it with trying to get top-end experienced talent. They've got players that fill the roles that they need. And Spurs have signed Ndombele, they got Lo Celso, and they have Sessegnon now, who are just really good talents that for the first time we're actually seeing Spurs spend on positions and depth that they really needed. So it'll be interesting to see. They haven't lost anybody with Harry Kane, Eriksen, Son, all their talent there. I think that they're able to get the job done in a 2-0 fashion here. Anything else to add, Matt?
Nope.
All right, so next we've got Leicester City hosting Wolves. So I think Leicester City are really firing, and they're ready to take on the Premier League again in terms of finishing in those Europa League spots. Not in that to me. So being in the Europa League may be an issue for Leicester this year, but I still think that at home at the King Power Stadium in Week 1, Jamie Vardy has the ability to score goals. Obviously, we've seen it over and over again. I think Wolves are a little bit slower defensively, and his pace can cause a lot of problems on the counterattack. Wolves in their attack are just so good too. Keeping theirs is a huge sign of things to come for Wolves. The fact that they're in Europe, I think, will play into their minds, and that might make here. Matt, what do you think?
Hello. Cut out. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Yeah, I can.
There you are.
I'm talking.
There you are.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so at King Power Stadium, I think this is going to be a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Two teams that have a shot similar to Everton. I have them just behind the top six. Both teams should be very exciting this year. I don't know which of those three is going to impress me more. Wolves last year, coming off the form they had after being newly promoted. Leicester, I mean, we know what they've done in the past. But I think this is going to end up being a 2-2 draw. Some goals being scored, very creative, a little bit of questions defensively, maybe from both sides. But both have world-class keepers, but I think it's just going to be a great game, maybe the best game of the weekend, 2-2. How much of that did you hear?
All right. I heard up until about the last 5 seconds of that, so it's fine. We're just going to move along here. So, next game we've got is Newcastle hosting Arsenal, and I think this is going to be a very interesting game. Matt, what do you think is happening in this one?
Well, Arsenal shocked the world with this transfer window, finally investing. The attacking power they have, I mean, the defense, I mean, everyone likes to make, the meme about it, but I still think their defense is decent. I mean, it's not maybe top the top of the line quality, but I still think they're decent. I don't think Newcastle can necessarily beat them. I think Arsenal just going forward, Aubameyang tying the Golden Boot last year, top the goal scorers. I think they just have too much going forward, a lot of creativity. They have Kolasinac fighting off attackers. I mean, they're unstoppable right now. So I have them winning 3-0.
Okay, wow. Big key to them playing well defensively. It could just be an absolute disaster. I don't know what the direction Newcastle are going in, but like you said, I have questions about Arsenal's defense too. So I think Newcastle are able to grab a goal. They do have some talented players in their attack, but there's no way that Arsenal don't win this game. I agree with you. It shocked everybody that they were able to spend the way they did and bringing in key players that they actually needed. So David Luiz at the back and Tierney, I think, are big pickups. I don't think David Luiz is an elite center back, but I think he has enough tools in his locker to help this defense and fill that role that really Arsenal has been missing sorely. Anything else you want to add on that?
No,
What? I don't think I gave a score, did I?
no.
So I'm going to go, I'm going to go 3-1 here for Arsenal.
All right.
So, final game of the match week is the big one, Manchester United hosting Chelsea at Old Trafford. I think that this game is set up to be a draw. It really is. A lot of these players are new at these teams. There's been heavy turnover in the transfer market, and I just can't see it going either way right now. I think both teams have added quality that they needed, but they also lost quality that was very important to their side. United keeping Pogba, I think, is key for them this season because he is that talented midfielder. I think Chelsea bringing in Pulisic, just we've seen him in the preseason, is a key player for them as well. I think that they want to play him centrally, and that might be a mistake, but right now that's where the manager sees him going, and that's Frank Lampard. So I just assume that that's where he'll be. Manchester United, on the other hand, haven't made a lot of key signings. I think that Wan-Bissaka is important to them and Maguire, but defensively, they did need some depth, and they have that now. They have starters at right back and center back that they didn't have before. I think they were overpriced, but they can be players to really take United forward, but I only see a 1-1 draw here. Matt, what do you think?
I like that 1-1 draw prediction. It's going to be so interesting having, Ale versus Frank, two players that are two coaches that have played with their clubs and, getting to see that with, their first full season and off season with that team, and they get to kind of experience that. And heading into week one, it's just a lot of, questions going into that. United with, I guess, the couple years they had, but especially last year, under this manager, and just being able to score goals is a question. Defensively, I know they got Harry Maguire, but I still think there's a couple question marks. Bailly's out, and yeah, you always know about their other center backs and what they can be at times. Going forward, just lost Lukaku.
Should be okay.
Yeah, going Lukaku, losing him and not really replacing him is something I'm concerned about. So I'm not sure how many goals they'll be able to score, especially against Chelsea. Typically very sound defensively. Lampard, I'm not quite sure how they've been doing in the preseason, but I know just like through his career, always played in a very defensive and type team. So I assume he's bringing that, and I don't think United's going to be able to score more than one. So I think 1-1 and Pulisic scores.
Got it. All right, well, that has been the Quick Kick Picks for the Barclays Premier League Match Week 1. That was brought to you by Bros Talking Soccer. I almost missed the camera again there. And I hope everybody has a good week. Matt, anything else you want to add before we move on?
Come on, City.
All right. I hope you guys enjoy Match Week 1, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one, everybody.